Alright, so I got the Sherman auxiliary transmission put back in. I've got her all sealed up. I didn't film draining it out, but the oil that was in it was just as nasty as what was in the trans and what you saw me taking out of the rear. I did, however, after of course I've cleaned all this out, but there is actually a drain plug hidden on the bottom of that thing that I didn't see. But of course this whole thing was caked up with grease and oil and all kinds of nasty stuff. So cleaned up the bell housing. I've taken off both this front cone here and the top lid, and I've resealed it and everything with gasket maker. Put fresh oil in it, sealed it where it connects back there to the tractor, so that should hopefully stop some of the leaking and stuff going on that was going on in here. The next thing, because this tractor is just one thing after the other, this one I can't even explain. The brake pedal, if you look closely, you can see grooves where somebody actually cut the end of that brake pedal off with a torch. So that's probably, I found a lot of stupid stuff on this tractor so far, and this one I can't even explain what the purpose of that would be. The pedal isn't worn out or anything. It's not like this one was hitting the other pedal and they did it for clearance. This thing was clearly owned by someone who just did not have a clue what they were doing. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my grinder, I'm going to clean this up, round it off, and make it so it doesn't look like someone with absolutely no sense worked on it. The flywheel, I've cleaned up some. I just took my sander here, my palm sander. I know that's not really the way you're supposed to do it, but I just kind of ran it around nice and evenly a couple of times, just to kind of try and work a little bit of the groove out of it. It looks worse on the camera, but when you feel it, it actually doesn't feel that bad. So that's all cleaned up. Still waiting for a ring gear to come in. So of course, because this is the tractor that just keeps on giving, next issue that's found, I've got a crack inside the bell housing here. Pretty noticeable. You can see it from the outside too. It's kind of rough with the paint and everything right there, but you can see it. So I'm gonna have to do a little research. I'm pretty sure for this cast steel, I've MIG welded it before, but I think there's an actual stick rod that is supposed to be used for cast steel like this. So I'm gonna have to grind this crack out and widen it out and make a nice little ditch, and then I'm actually gonna try stick welding this to fix this problem. Alright, it's been a couple of weeks, but I did some parts ordering and my engine rebuild kit has finally arrived. This is from Steiner. It's not the full kit, but it's the liners, piston heads, rings, rod bearings, and then I've got the complete seal kit that goes with it. So right now, what I'm going to work on is I've got most of these cylinder walls cleaned up pretty good with a rag and just some brake cleaner. So I picked up this cylinder hone, so I'm just going to run my drill, or run this with my drill, just through each of these, just to kind of clean them up just a little bit more. You can kind of see there's sort of like a weird line groove that sort of runs the length of the wall. If you get the lighting right, you can kind of see it. But I had a heck of a time getting the old liners out, so I'm just going to run this. I don't want to take off a whole lot. I don't want to, widen it out too much or anything, but just enough to kind of get a nice, clean, shiny bore going in each one of these cylinders, and that should make the liners driving a lot easier. Alright, so I got my cylinders all honed out. I got the block on the floor now. I've just got a piece of plywood under there. When I was doing this on the engine stand, the engine was shaking a lot when I was knocking the old liners out, so I think putting it on the floor like this, I'll get a lot better drive with my hammer when I'm hitting it. Slowing up for some reason. Alright, so liner number 1 is in. Went ahead and turned the camera off for that last little bit. Had to find another piece of wood. My other one that I was using went 2 separate ways on me. So I've got this other piece right now. So I'm going to grab another liner and we'll try number 2. Alright, let's try cylinder number 2. Whoops. So the reassembly process has started. I've got 2 of the pistons in. I did have to end up sending this crank out to get professionally, keyword professionally, lathe down some more. It had some little spots in it that just needed to be addressed, so I figured, you know what, we're here, we might as well do it right. So nothing's torqued down yet, but as you can see, we're still free spinning. This is kind of a long drawn out process of checking and rechecking everything, so I'm not really going to film all of that. Just wanted to get some shots of it with the well, we're about 50%, we are exactly 50% of the way there. 2 in, 2 more to go, so stay tuned. Well, we've reached another milestone. Got the motor back on. It's been completely rebuilt. Last clip I had of it, I think I only had 2 of the pistons in. I made really good progress the other day, got all the valves in, got everything torqued down and done and all that. So the next step's going to be the head gasket, putting that back. And I think on this one I'm going to try, I picked up some copper spray. Usually when I put these back together I do them dry, but people were saying if you had a metal gasket, you should use this stuff. It helps it out a lot. So I'm going to try that. So yeah, I'm going to torque the head down and go from there. A lot more progress being made. The last clip I had of this, the head wasn't on, and I don't think any of the accessories were really on here. The motor is completely together. Still haven't run it yet. I've got the front end on somewhat. I'm still waiting on the bearings that go in the bottoms of these spindles. There's nothing there. This was just kind of for looks. And also I kind of wanted to try and figure out how to adjust the steering rods and the clearance. The reason I had to really put this together was to figure out the exhaust. None of this was done last time you saw it. Because it's going to be going in the water, obviously you don't want the exhaust running underneath of the tractor. I don't think it would hurt anything, but this stuff is pretty thin metal. And if I do this in any kind of salt water, I got a feeling my exhaust is going to be not happy. So I decided to go upwards with the exhaust. Like I said, still haven't run it yet. Changed up alternator designs. I was going to do a 3-wire. That didn't work out. Something went wrong with this battery. I'm not sure what this battery's deal is. Right now it's sitting there completely dead, even though it's brand new. But the alternator I used and the way I had it set up, it did not like that. So I'm going to try setting this up like another tractor which I have videos of. Just a one-wire alternator that goes from that post there to the positive post there, and calling it a day. So still more to be done over here. These are my wheel bearings. I still have another gauge to put in, this not that one, but the water temp gauge, and the other one is a voltage gauge that just gives me a direct readout of the what the current voltage is. It's not like an ammeter, it just tells me where the battery is sitting. And the idea with that being, if the alternator for some reason got wet, which I got a feeling it might get wet, if it had some kind of like short or something, I know alternators can go into sort of like overcharge mode where they don't kick out when they should. The idea would be, if I had a gauge like that, I'd see the voltage climbing or spiking, and I have a feeling what I might do is put in, like under the hood somewhere, just sort of like a toggle switch, or one of those bigger like on-off battery switches just for the alternator. So if the alternator starts going haywire, I can just shut the alternator off and run off of whatever reserve is in the battery. And then if the battery starts getting low, I can, click it back on, let it charge up. So yeah, that's kind of a rundown on the charging system. The rear, the 3-point has been all put back together. I don't think I've talked about this at all. This is all back together. I'm still looking to see, or looking forward to seeing, if the repair I did in there will hold up. When I had it running, the arms would only come up about halfway. There was a pin inside that had broke. It's called a sensing pin. And I put everything back together, so I'd love to know if I did everything right. But yeah, the motor's complete. Probably the next clip you'll see of this, I should at least, I don't know if I have the hood back on or not, but hopefully in the next clip here, we'll have a running tractor. I'll put the wheels on it. I don't see any point in starting it up if I can't drive it anywhere, so I want to put the wheels back on it, get all that straight, probably hook up a temporary little gas tank, charge the battery up, and we'll see how good or not good of a rebuild I did. And hopefully be taking her for a test drive for the first time in, I think it's been at least four if not 5 months since it was last running. This project started in March, or late February, early March, and it is the end of September now. So these clips are flying by, but there's just months and weeks in between. Because I would order parts and then I'd find something else broken, and then the biggest setback being, I had no idea that the engine was going to need a full-on rebuild. That was really unexpected, honestly. So that was just a ton of time lost there. But we're getting closer. The goal being, get the tractor back together, get it running. Do some test driving, work out the little kinks and bugs and stuff like that. Well, the next thing, I do have the tanks for the rear wheels. I have found a tank. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's a 500-gallon fuel tank that I'll be cutting in half and using for the rear wheels. Still don't have tanks to make for the front wheels, but that's later on. I'd at least like to get the thing running and get some footage of it, at least coming back to life. So stay tuned for more, and I'll see you when I got more.